feeling vital, or at least waking up your body, waking up those arms and shoulders. And you will notice that the shoulder blades, they just slide up as the arms come overhead, and you maybe a little clap there, and then they glide back down. Feel well grounded through the feet and really even in your posture standing. So, really accessing that felt sense of your center, connecting to your midline. Now reach the arms out in that lovely T shape and rotate the arms up and down, up and down. So rolling the arms all the way back, spreading out the thumbs from the fingers, rolling the arms all the way in. And this creates internal and external rotation at the shoulder joint. Remember to breathe naturally and comfortably. And then next time the palms are down, ease out those legs and then sliding left and right. So this is the Pilates leans. So you are leaning to the left, lengthening and leaning to the right. And you can look left and look right as well. Or if you want to just keep your eyes to the horizon and gaze forward, possibly towards your mirror, if you have a mirror at home, then you might find you can speed up. Now, the beauty of this warm-up movement is that it starts to bring your awareness more closely to the hugging of the muscles around the inner corset. So that's the deep postural muscles and also the obliques. So the side walls of the abdominals, i.e. the oblique muscles, the waist muscles. Lengthening out those arms. You're getting a little bit of space through the shoulder joint as well as you reach the arm away. And it's kind of as if you're sliding against a wall. And maybe you'll feel the impact of that. And then reach the arms down just so that there's like a low V and creating that pulsing press. So we're pressing for about 25. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then rotate the palms back. Roll the shoulders away again. Reconnect to that center and push back. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then reach around so the arms become far more narrower. And see if you can bend the elbows as if touching the fingers together. So it comes like a little diamond behind the back. And what you'll find with this warm-up and conditioning arm action is access to the upper back arms, the tricep muscle especially. So going out wide, tapping. If your fingertips don't touch, it's absolutely fine. You're spreading widely backwards. So arm press back and then touching. When you start to feel that little burn, just carry on. See if you can add another, say, 5 repetitions. And then release. Mini shrugs. Up and down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then float the arms forward, palms facing, and rotate out. Open the chest. Roll back in, open out. So again, you're creating a space for breathing, space for vital energy. And when we pay attention to flowing energy in the body, and especially around the upper back, chest and shoulders, it really enhances the efficacy of your respiratory system. So you're really creating, you know, a vibrant nourishment, not just to the muscles, bones and the joints, but to your circulatory systems. You can really feel that freshening breath coming through. So float now the right arm overhead, bend the elbow if you need to, you can pop the hand on top of the crown, let it rest lightly, or you can extend the arm long, and then sliding into side bend. We're going to just stay here for a moment. I'd love today if you could just reconnect to that center, draw the muscles in so you feel well corseted, and with the palm just resting lightly on the head, what it's doing, it's really reminding you not to kind of tuck that chin or hang the head, so keeping everything well aligned, and then let your body slide into that movement just a little bit deeper if you can, while you reach open on that right side body, expanding into the ribs and the lungs. Depending how far you're going, you can even bring the hand across to the shelf, top of the ear. Feel that opening all the way through to that right hip, but try not to twist that pelvis. And then you can guide your heavy head back to center as you restand, release, and then just connect to that feeling. And then let's go the other way. Glide the arm up, bend the elbow, palm lightly rests. Feel some open space just across the collarbone, just as if there's a lovely smile across the front upper portion of your body. And imagine in this right palm, you're holding on to a really heavy bag. So there's a contraction happening between the right armpit and the hip. So you move into the side bend, perhaps pause, connect to your breathing, and then see if it's available to you to move in a little more or move in a little less. So you can always progress a movement or regress it. Important to relax the facial muscles, relax the jaw, perhaps evoke some Pilates method breathing in through nose, out through mouth. And that navel just draws towards the spine to support the action of returning perfectly to your center. As you find that center, lovely in-breath and out-breath, keeping the feet parallel and in hip-wide, or moving them out a little bit to shoulder-wide, and then just taking that lovely spiral. And you can, of course, turn your head, rotate the head and neck when you spiral, or you can keep eyes to the horizon, keeping the face forward, which can help avoid dizziness. And we're spiraling all the way through the system, all the way down to the ankles. You'll feel those ankle bones lightly turning, and of course the pelvis, the thorax, everything just rotating around that midline. And ease back to center. So now please, we're going to use hand weights. As you come back to standing, as you find your weights from that hip wide position, bring your heels together, everybody. And we're going to begin with the weights just coming in softly towards the midline with a soft elbow. So reset that neutral pelvis and its level, and then draw the arms up, maybe towards the eye line or overhead. And that's your inhale, and exhale, squeezing down. And in the V stance, or Joseph Pilates first position. You are noticing that essence of zip and hollow. Inhaling, exhaling. As you exhale, shoulder blades draw down. Reminds you as well to just add a little bit of extra tone to the belly on that exhalation. Probably about 10 to 12 repetitions here. Now keep the arms softly overhead. Exhaling, drawing round to elbow slides or chicken wings. Inhale, exhale, pulling down. And this, of course, wants to be felt in the muscles of your back. Strengthening the shoulder girdle. If you're moving faster than an inhale, exhale, just let your breath flow continuously throughout. Elbows hugging into the side bodies now, just resetting those shoulders, rolling away, and then opening and squeezing in. Just staying connected to yourself, feet spreading into the earth. You are zip and hollowing all the way through. And really ideal if you've got a mirror in your practice room, your home room where you are, so you can just double check that you are even with the action through the left and the right arm. As I say, 10 or 12 reps of each, and then arms to the sides and circling. So going forward, 1, 2, 3, try and keep that frame nice and steady. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pause. Regather your energy and breath and roll back with those circles, probably the size of saucers, side plates or grapefruits. 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then release down. Rotate the palms back. Crown is on, center the body, and we'll press back and then arm float forward. So front raise and then press back. Could come to the collarbones, and that will allow you to move obviously a little bit more rapidly. One clue here is to try not to actually swing those arms. So through the practice, as the arms float forward, what you're doing is really trying to control the alignment and the energy as you float up and then press back. And then that's the end of the arm weight series of today. So just give your legs a little shake out. And we will be putting the weights down beside the mat, so you might want to do that now. And then come back to standing. And just coming into the toe tap balance. So release your right foot, right ball of the foot into the mat as you stand well on that left leg. And float and tap. Keeping upright without tension. And this is obviously about not just your proprioception, but also the strength coming through that standing leg. Of course, release the arms out to the side if you wish. And see if you can find maybe 6, 8, or 10 of that knee fold toe tap balance. It's really quite a simple shape. See if you can remain really comfortably steady all the way through. Walk it out. Let's move into the second side. Reset that pelvis. Midline is connected. Reach the arms out. Hold steady. And then float up and down. Remember to breathe. And of course, the standing balance is not just about relying on that right ankle. So if this left leg is moving, you are not just standing because of a strong ankle. It's because you're bringing the energy of support all the way through the posture. Second balance today is the half circle, okay? So this is about a lovely little flow motion through the hip. So tapping the leg forward, out to the side, and then behind you. So it goes tap, tap, so forward, side, and back, side, and forward. And again, if you want to get the arms out to the sides to give a little bit more space, you can. It can be a small action, or you can sort of swing the leg also around, which adds a little extra dynamic to that movement. You can see there how Joseph Pilates brought in quite a lot of inspiration from the ballet world. Ease out, little pelvic circle in between. Find your breathing, set your center, relax those shoulders. So there's an arrow leg pointing forward and floating. And perhaps if you were on a clock face, that would be 12 noon. And you'd be moving out to 3 and then down to 6. And you're just trying to keep everything really steady. And you can bend the knee if that's easier to create those actions. And you can keep it like a low tap, or you can swing it. How does that feel on your hip and on the standing leg as you promote stability in your Pilates body? Okay, let's come to the back of the mat now. Release from your balances. And at the back of the mat, finding your Pilates roll down, we're going to walk into the plank. So let the gaze come down towards your toes. Allow breath to occur, and then as you draw the navel in enough, really try to find the mobility in your spine, that C-shaped curve, and sliding the palms down the legs. Once you're in that ragdoll position, shake out your head, shake out your neck, and really feel that you can drape down a little more if that's comfortable for you. And then walking powerfully forward and into your Pilates plank. Spreading those palms underneath your shoulders, draw the inner thighs together, squeeze through the feet so that they are well aligned, stacking the ankles on top of the toe beds. We press the earth away and lengthen from the crown. And then bring the knees down and slide back into a shell stretch. Draw the body back so it would be like a knees down plank. And make sure that you're hugging between those inner thighs and that your pelvis is not sagging. And then if you can here now, find maybe 6 or 8 press-ups, Pilates press-ups. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you press. And then glide back to your shell stretch. Buttocks towards the feet, maybe the forehead rests. And be in touch, fully connected to that resting breath. It's quite a compelling breath that comes into your body. It's really powerful, absorbing after using a strength-based movement. Now, if you struggle with press-ups for any reason, or today it's not working very well, then you can always use them from an all-fours position instead, and bending the elbows backwards so that the forearm bones come down is another way of working. If you're going to use that method, what you want to avoid is dipping too much through the chin or the chest, or letting that pelvis lead the way. So you're moving from those arms and from that strong shoulder girdle, keeping that tabletop back at all times. If you're concerned about your alignment, come back into your plank. Hug up through all of those postural muscles, and then again, pop the knees down. I find taking the hands wider of the mat is also helpful. And of course, if you are especially confident and comfortable with your Pilates press-ups, it'll probably be quite easy for you to find 3 sets of 8 or 10 reps of those. But let's now slide the body, please, down into prone position and elongate the legs. Make sure that you have created full length between the breastbone and the pubis. Tops of the feet are pressing back and lengthening, and reach your arms out in a T shape or a low T. And you can, of course, if you wish, pick up your hand weights. And then floating the arms. Really important that you stay very aware of the long back neck. Being mindful of the next few rounds of breath. And then pulse the arms up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep the arms back and really get engaged with the upper back arms. Float, turn, reach the palms up towards the sky. Feel the scapulae squeeze. Consider floating the legs, but if you float the legs and clear the thighs, you are still really low to the Pilates mat, so it's like a low arrow dart. And ready to pulse again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And 10, 9, 8. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then resting all efforts. Bring the cheek to the mat. And just enjoy that recovery breath and the feelings in your body. Press the hands under the shoulders, rise up to all fours. And create fists underneath those shoulders. Walk the knees in a little bit closer. And then on the next exhale, curl the tailbone under, hollow the abdomen, and round your upper back. As you breathe in, just finding a soft table spine, tabletop back, exhale, repeat. And if you want to move those knees even closer to those fists, or come up on your fingertips, then again, notice that deep curling into your spine. Invitation for flexion. Maybe look into your heart center. See how much length you can find in the vertebrae, all the way from top of the spine and right through to your tailbone. And then bring the legs out in front of you, coming into sitting. And we're going to go down onto the back body now for some mat-based abdominals. So draw the flesh away from your sit bones. Maybe float your arms forward. And when you're ready, curl the pelvis underneath you. And mindfully, slowly make your way down to the mat. And once your torso's landed, back skull is there. Walk those feet in appropriately. And little arch and imprint of the pelvis, so tilting both ways so that you reset your spine into its length. Broaden out through the shoulders, the ribs, and surrender your body into postural strength. So moving back into the hips, float the right knee up towards the sky, like a soft or long arrow, and be absolutely clear about this heavy, heavy pelvis, grounded, not heavy and collapsed, but grounded, and the leveling off of your hip points. And then as you gaze towards that right big toe, start to create a really mindful Pilates hip circle. So you're circling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Small circles. This left hip is completely stable. So there's a little bit of huggability going on around the gluteals and on that inner thigh. And then you'll reverse that circle. The idea is that it's just your femur bone that is turning in the socket. So there really is an awful lot of concentration happening as you guide these small circles. And you can always hold the femur bone and even bend your knee if that is more accessible and more available to you. And at this point, try to keep the neck, the throat, the facial muscles really, really soft and relaxed. Now flex and point that right foot several times. And then on the flexion, lengthen that right leg down towards the earth without touching. Point and lift. Flex and lengthen, point, lift. Flex, lengthen, point, raise. Flex, lengthen, point, raise, lengthen. Keeping that pelvis steady with no rocking. And of course, you'll start to feel this lovely tonality coming through the muscles of the leg while your body is grounded. You can repeat this one, this single leg extended position for up to 10 or 12 reps. Now I'd like you to let that arrow leg come back up to the sky. Depending on the lengthening essence and the flexibility of your hamstrings, you can leave that foot quite soft or flex the foot. And you might even just lightly bring that leg a little bit further towards you, just for a moment of easeful hamstring length, and circle your ankle as well. That's also can feel quite lovely. And if you have a Pilates band or a yoga belt, of course, it can help to just loop that round foot. And you can offer this to yourself for a much longer duration, up to like a minute or two, just calmly relaxing into your breath and finding that releasing length from the sit bone right through to the inner arch. Okay, let's release that one now. Let your knees sway to the right and sway to the left. Just enjoy a moment of floor twist and then reset that pelvis. Be grounded, head comfortably relaxed, eyes to the horizon, and then fold and extend and lengthen that left leg. Remember, it could be at a different angle. You're looking to see the ankle, knee and hip in alignment. Quite nice to circle, point and flex. Release that foot and then begin to concentrate on your tiny, tiny Pilates hip circles. So as if the big toe has a little paintbrush and you are just gazing up and turning that circle, painting that circle on the sky. 5 or 6 in each direction. You might want to imagine you've got a hot cup of tea on your right knee, and there's no need to grip, but just be fully aware of stability from the right foot standing and through to that right hip. Now then flex the ankle, so draw the toes towards you and lengthen the leg away. You're moving this left leg from the inner seam, point and raise and flex and lower. Abdominal muscles are contracted enough to maintain that stable midline. And your breath is smooth, natural and easy throughout. And when that feels enough, let that arrow leg float back. Again, think about the angle of the leg. Maybe you might want to bend the knee a little bit and draw that leg closer to you, guide it in. Ideally, the leg elongates. You're gently opening up the space behind the back of the knee. And you can also just lay open while you observe the muscles resetting their length. If you're flexible already, then of course, pushing up through that strong foot can feel really like an added sensation, quite a sweet sensation perhaps, but you decide as you remain connected to yourself. Back ribs are relaxing down, the shoulder blades are grounded, collarbones are open. And then hug both knees into the chest and massage. And then place feet down. Interlace the fingers around the back of the skull. And lift and peel away the neck, head and shoulders into a cradled upper body curl up. Make sure that the head presses into that nest of cradled palms. And then release. And curl. I'm going to take 10 quite fast curls here, or upper chest lifting. And what's important is that you keep that pelvis grounded and steady. Ten or 12, and you really fire up connection to those upper abdominals. Now you can make a choice to keep that head in the cradled arm position, or of course you can reach those arms forward and you can leave the head down. Now float both legs up to the sky, give them a little shake, and then finding Pilates single leg scissors. alternate, reaching through, pointing the feet. Remember, it doesn't have to be a big range of motion. It could be that you are kind of fluttering the legs up towards the sky. So again, this really depends on the connection you have to the flexibility of the muscles in the posterior chain. If you're okay to move a little bit more into a deeper range, then please do. Important not to tug and pull on the head and neck. Remember, in this exercise now, you are sinking those abdominals down towards the spine, and the side waist wall muscles of the obliques are also cinching in. And remember not to hold your breath. Of course, the legs are the apparatus here, and muscular legs are heavy. So be aware that you're not tugging off of any joints in the spine. And then finishing with another little hug and rock or a floor twist. Let your body breathe. Again, roll the knees into the chest, extend those legs up towards the sky, give them a shake. And now the other version, it's like the sister movement to scissors. So open the legs mat wide. Again, you can bend the knees a little bit if you wish, or they can open wider, depends on you. And then crisscross at the top. So clue here is to externally rotate the feet. So if you can also draw the heels towards each other, take maybe 4 or 6 little crisscross and then open. And then if you can, speed up. So it is, of course, the breath in and then crisscross, crisscross in. Now, of course, stronger would be holding your hand weights and maybe reaching those weights towards the bottom of the mat, or even lifting the arms up overhead. Not surprisingly, you'll begin to feel some sensation, some impact into those lowest abdominals. So it's really important that you keep grounded through the tail and the sacrum. And maybe then just finish with a lovely full body stretch. You'll know when you've experienced enough effects of the Pilates crisscross. There are 2 crisscross, of course. There's the other version that we know well. Now, keeping those legs elongated down the mat, float the arms above you. You can point and flex your feet. You can even cross your ankles. Lovely, full breath in. And then scoot upwards and see if you can sit all the way through from the earth to that seated Pilates roll up. And if you need to use your hands differently, then that's fine. And then swing your legs around to the left in a relaxed Pilates mermaid. Take the right hand away from the body and then lengthen the left arm up and over, possibly over the ear. You can remain here, just enjoying that side opening, or of course you can stack your knees, stack your feet, and lift the hips. And release into Pilates side bend prep. And that really works quite well, again, with good coordination of your breath. So lifting up through the hips, Shoulder blades slide down the back as you support your body. Sweep the legs forward. And reach both arms overhead. Lovely breath in, and as you exhale, morning sunrise, the arms down and around. And then bring yourself over into your second mermaid, sweeping the feet and heels round to the right sit bones, sending that left palm strongly into the earth, perhaps choosing to pick up the weight. Letting the arm come up and over according to you, or lifting the hips, stacking the knees, stacking the hips, gliding and flowing up and over, and maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times. And then spiral around onto all fours. Curl the toes, lift the hips as if down dog, and walk back into your ragdoll position. Ready for your releasing again of the head, neck and shoulders. Press through those even feet, scoop that belly, and slide yourself back up to standing. And roll the shoulders. Maybe just finishing with one more round of conscious breathing here in standing. And feeling what, if anything, has changed in your body from the beginning of this practice. Thank you so much for being here today.